Padma
Shri Guru Charana Padma Deva Bhagavati Sama
Ando Muri Dana Jana Mate
Ando Muri Dana Mate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namne Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namne Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirviteta Sunyavadi Patkacharitatarine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirviteta Sunyavadi Patkacharitatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Om Vishnupada Paramaham Surabhacharya Superior Siddhi Shri Śrīmad His Divine Grace Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Gaur Premanande Glory to all glories to Shri Gauranga Om Shri Yuga-dharma Krishna Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam
Put it down first.
You gonna hold down with me?
Not this one.
No.
How's your stay so long? Who are you staying with? Your relatives?
My mother-in-law for 240.
Where are we now? 150 bucks. 100 bucks? Yeah. Good to hear from you.
Until the leave on the bottom. Where do I find my street? I'll share it through this page.
Who's harmonious?
Ashram.
Better than the other one.
Yeah.
I think you're bring this one out. Still won't last for Jaya Ram. Jaya Ram.
Or you can change the.
Jaya Ram. Jaya Radha Madhava. Jaya Radha Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava. Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava. Jaya Kunja Bihari. On the right. Kopi Jana Balaba. Gopi Jana Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Agyanatimanandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shigaro Shiyuta Parakamalam Shigram Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagradatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Pradana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakan Zvitamscha Hey Krishna Karna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishubhanu Sudadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Turubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patiranam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Pranitananda Shadvaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya This is from the Preaching is the Essence. One who preaches the gospel of Bhagavad Gita is perfect in pure devotional service. Krishna wants everyone to surrender unto him, and devotional service means preaching this gospel all over the world. The Lord says openly in Bhagavad Gita 1869, Cha tasman manusheshu kasjin me priyakrita maha. One should preach the gospel of Bhagavad Gita for the benefit of all. Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Lord so that human society can be perfectly organized from all angles of vision, politically, socially, economically, philosophically, and religiously. From any point of view, human society can be reformed by the Krishna consciousness movement. Therefore, one who spreads this philosophy of Krishna consciousness for the benefit of all conditioned souls in the universe is perfect and pure devotional service. Madhya Leela 7:19-16. Oh, this looks like a new Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam.
There's the latest DVT pending from India now.
What verse are you up to now?
128.
What's that?
128.
128. Dharmak sunustita pumsam vishvaks. What's that? Oh, you have some verses you can repeat. Dharmak sunustita pumsam vishvaksena katasuya nodpadiyat iti ratim shramayva hi kevalam dharmak sunistita pumsam vishvaksena katasuya nodpadiyati ratim shrameva hi kevalam dharmak svanusitak pumsam vishvaksena katasuya nodpadiyati ratim shrameva hi kevalam svanusitak pumsam vishvaksena katasuya Nodpadayat iti ratim. Shama eva hi kevalam. Dharma sutta pumsam. Shama eva hi kevalam. Akvanusitak pumsam. Vishvaksena katasuya. Padiyadiratim. Shama eva hi kevalam. Mataji. Dharmakvanusitak pumsam. Vishvaksena katasuya. Nautpadayadiratim. Shrama eva hi kevalam. Dharma, occupation. Swanustitaha, executed in terms of one's own position. Pumsam, of humankind. Vishvaksena, the personality of Godhead. Plenary portion. Katasu, in the message of. Ya, what is. Na, not. Utpadayat, does produce. Yadi, if. Ratim, attraction. Shrama, useless labor. Eva, only. He, certainly. Kevalam, entirely. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The occupational activities a man performs according to his own position are only so much useless labor if they do not provoke attraction to the message of the personality of Godhead. Please repeat. The occupational activities a man performs according to his own position are only so much useless labor. They do not provoke attraction to the message of the personality of Godhead. Purport. There are different occupational activities in terms of man's different conceptions of life. To the gross materialist who cannot see anything beyond the gross material body, there is nothing beyond the senses. Therefore, his occupational activities are limited to concentrated and extended selfishness. Concentrated selfishness centers around the personal body. It is generally seen amongst the lower animals. Extended selfishness is manifested in human society and centers around the family, society, community, nation, and world, with a view to gross bodily comfort. Above these gross materialists are the mental speculators who hover aloof in the material spheres, in the mental spheres, and their occupational duties involve making poetry and philosophy or propagating some ism with the same aim of selfishness limited to the body and the mind. But above the body and the mind is the dormant spirit soul, whose absence from the body makes the whole range of bodily and mental selfishness completely null and void. But less intelligent people have no information of the needs of the spirit soul. Because foolish people have no information of the soul and how it is beyond the purview of the body and mind, they are not satisfied in the performance of their occupational duties. The question of the satisfaction of the self is raised herein. The self is beyond the gross body and subtle mind. He is a potent, active principle of the body and mind.
Without knowing the need of the dormant soul, one cannot be happy simply with emolument of the body and mind. The body and mind are but superfluous outer coverings of the spirit soul. The spirit soul's needs must be fulfilled simply by cleansing the cage of the bird. One does not satisfy the bird, one must actually know the needs of the bird himself. The need of the spirit soul is that he wants to get out of the limited sphere of material bondage and fulfill his desire for complete freedom. He wants to get out of the covered walls of the greater universe. He wants to see the free light and the spirit. That complete freedom is achieved when he meets the complete spirit, the personality of Godhead. There is a dormant affection for God within everyone. Spiritual existence is manifested within everyone. Spiritual existence is manifested through the gross body and mind in the form of perverted affection for gross and subtle matter. Therefore, we have to engage ourselves in occupational engagements that will invoke our divine consciousness. This is possible only by hearing and chanting the divine activities of the Supreme Lord, and any occupation activity which does not help one to achieve attachment for hearing and chanting the transcendental message of Godhead is said to simply be a waste of time. This is because other occupational duties, whatever ism they may belong to, cannot give liberation to the soul. Even the activities of the salvationists are considered to be useless because of their failure to pick up the fountainhead of all liberties. The gross materialist can practically see that his material gain is limited only to time and space, either in this world or in the other. Even if he goes up to the Swargaloka, he will find no permanent abode for his hankering soul. The hankering soul must be satisfied by the perfect scientific process of perfect devotional service. There's a glass and a bottle there. Dharmak swanasti takpum sam vishvaksena kata suyat nodpadayaditi ritim yadi ritim shama eva hi kevalam Namo Vishnu Vidaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutaya Śrīmad Bhāgavatam Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shnivadi Paskadyade Satarane. No, it's we have to remind ourselves again and again who we actually are and who we're not. As we saw yesterday, you go out, most people aren't very interested in finding out who they're not, what to speak of finding out who they are. All they know is that they're servants of their senses, and they're very much interested in increasing that service, not getting out of the service. They want to increase it. And anything besides that they think is a waste of time. People don't even want to waste one moment, we can see. As soon as the devotee approaches them, sorry, no time. You're going to waste one moment of my life. Because they have faith, they're going to be happy by somehow or another serving whatever their mind and senses are dictating to them. And when you look around, you can see everyone looks the same, unhappy. Everyone's in a rush, going nowhere. Therefore, this knowledge is essential. Even if someone can understand that their bodies are changing, but they're not changing, then this is a second birth. Just like initiation is said, Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma Nishoshiti Nakangshiti Samak Sarveshu Bhuteshu Madbhaktim Labhate Param. This is Krishna's initiation in Bhagavad Gita. Preliminary before initiation is that one has to agree to give up hankering and lamentation and see everyone as a spiritual soul. Otherwise, there's no meaning to devotional service. If we're hankering to steal from Krishna, and we're lamenting the fact that we can't steal from Krishna, this is not a very good qualification for pure devotional service. And if we're competing with everyone else to steal from Krishna, this is even less of a qualification. So one has to give up this hankering, this lamentation, which are glorified people. There are movies about people lamenting. All the newspapers talk about how they're hankering and lamenting. It's all, the whole world is full of the glories of hankering lamentation. That here's a man, he's made $1 billion because he hankered to get it. And anyone who stood in his way, he crushed. And then he walked back and crushed him again just to feel good about it. And here's another man, he made $2 billion. So he's twice as important. Because that's the standard that people think that they have no standard. Whatever they're directed by propaganda, whether it's false or true, that's what they accept. And yet they think they're free. This is the land of the free and the brave. They're so brave that if you put a book in front of them, they put their hands up. And they're free to follow their senses for whatever their masters tell them, however much rope the master gives them. They're free to be restrained by the material senses and mind. But here, actual real freedom is coming from hearing and chanting, so we can understand that preliminarily, that this hankering for material sense gratification and our lamentation that our material existence is not up to the standard we'd like it to be. No one in the material world has the standard that they want it to be. Neither Brahma nor the insignificant ant is satisfied with their standard of material enjoyment. Everyone is hankering for more. And as soon as they're hankering for more, then there's lamentation over the fact that it's very hard to get more. And therefore, everyone is seen either as my friend or my enemy in my mission, in my God project. If you can help me in my God project, you're my friend. If you're an impediment or an obstacle in my God project, then you're my enemy. But after giving this up, then one can enter into pure devotional service, which means to try to love Krishna. If we're trying to love Krishna and serve Krishna, if we can try to love the holy name, because that's how Krishna has manifested himself in this age to us, principally through the holy name. And loving the holy name begins with just try to pay some attention. Could you imagine some boy meets a girl and he says, I'm madly in love with you, as he's looking in all directions. I can't stop thinking about you and whoever you might be. So love begins with paying some attention to Krishna. And to pay attention to Krishna means to pay attention to what Krishna wants. You can't have a relationship between a boy and girl, and the girl says, they're married, and he says, I'm madly in love with you, and she says, take out the garbage, and he says, do you have something else that I can do? Well, can you pay the bills? Well, I don't really want to do that either. What about getting a job? Well, why don't you get a job? Good idea, but not for me. Now it means that you have to be willing to surrender. A relationship means surrender. If there's no surrender, there's no relationship. And therefore, to love Krishna means to surrender, to find out what he wants us to do, and to do it to actually try to please him. Now, as one tries to love Krishna, generally speaking, is very difficult because we don't know Krishna. Therefore, the association of devotees is essential. We can hear about Krishna in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and other literatures, but unless we associate with devotees and try to do the same thing with them, pay attention to them, we can't say, I'm living in the association of devotees, but I don't like any of them. I just tolerate them because I'm here to give them my mercy. No, if we want to love Krishna, we have to develop the mood of service to his devotees because they're much more accessible than Krishna is to us. And that means to pay attention. And to pay attention to them means to pay attention to what they're saying. Especially what they're saying that they want us to do. Not I pay attention to you, you can tell me anything, but don't ask me to do anything. No, we actually have to pay attention. We should develop the desire to do something, to please them. Of course, what pleasing the devotees means that they should actually be trying to please Krishna. Not that in order to please the devotees, they're all going to the movies, and if I don't go, they'll be disappointed. It's a spiritual movie, Avatar or something like that. So I go with the devotees, and we stopped in and we had a couple of beers because I don't want to... just so we can be in the proper mood when we watch the movie. But I don't want to disappoint the devotees. Otherwise they'll seem too fanatic. No, to please the we please the devotees who are trying to please Krishna and in disciple succession from the other devotees. Then pleasing them actually has some meaning to it. Otherwise, what is the meaning? And that meaning, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission is, as it says in this verse, Ya idam paramam guyam mad bhakteshva vadashyati. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has a mission. He didn't come here, or as Prabhupada actually said, Krishna has a mission. He didn't come here to see if there's any nice gopis he could take back to the spiritual world with him. That's not his mission. He came here in order to give the conditioned soul the opportunity to find out who they are and how to reestablish their relationship with Krishna. That's the only reason why he comes. Therefore, cooperation with the devotees principally means help each other, because we also are in the category mostly of conditioned souls. Therefore, it's not only the innocent out there that we're trying to help. Hopefully, we're also innocent, and someone can help us. So helping the innocent doesn't only mean to help the conditioned souls who don't happen to be in this room right now, but also means to help each other and help others, whoever we meet, Yari Deka Tarikaha Krishna Upradesh. If we're in the mood of trying to help others become Krishna conscious, then we're actually in the proper devotional mood. There's nothing else we have to do except to, whatever we're doing must be in connection with helping others become Krishna conscious. Of course, when we're engaged in book distribution or chanting, it's more obvious. Hopefully it's more obvious. Of course, one can do anything in this material world with the idea of sense gratification. We can work 24 hours a day distributing books only to get our name as number one in the marathon. So when people see us, they say, there is the Supreme. Greatest of them all. Oh, is that right? I'm also the humblest, you know. Is that right? At the end of the marathon, you can give me all the praise. You can touch my foot. Empower you. So, whoever we meet, the mood has to be that we're simply the servants of the servants of the servants, and by the mercy of Krishna and our acharyas and disciple succession and the devotees, Krishna will give me the intelligence how to help others become Krishna conscious. If we're not in that mood, or we think, in the mode of ignorance, we think we're the controllers. And therefore always lamenting because it's very hard to control anything in this material world. And in the mode of passion, we're trying to enjoy. And there's some enjoyment, but it's not enough to actually make anyone satisfied. So everyone is running around like a madman, wondering where the happiness is. It didn't look like it was down in where we were chanting Union Square. Even they were handing out this little candy as much. People think, wow, happiness finally. Something down here. So that actually they're just trying to run somewhere else. And then they run to the next place, and there's no happiness there either. So they run to the next place. They run to the store and buy all kinds of things. Maybe there's happiness in this box. There's no happiness in this box. Give it to someone else. So people are just running around looking for some happiness, and instead they're just getting trouble trying to find happiness. The bills are mounting up, people are criticizing them, the police are after them. They're still trying to find a little bit of happiness somewhere. But actually what we want is an ocean of happiness. Anandam buddhivardhanam patitpanam paramvitasvaranam sarvatma snapanam param vijayate Shri Krishna sankirtanam. But people don't know where to actually get real happiness because their vision, nitevidu swartikatim hi Vishnu darashya ye bahya artamanina, because their vision is limited. So we have to expand our vision so that we're not trying to control the universe, nor are we hankering to enjoy it, nor are we thinking we're the saviors when we're out, when we're preaching, that I've made so many devotees, I've distributed so many books, I've collected so much Lakshmi, I am such a great devotee. I don't know how Krishna will ever repay me. And I doubt whether Krishna knows also. So we have to get over these misconceptions and do something in order to actually love Krishna. And that means to nicely associate with devotees, try to help the innocent, and to avoid those who are not interested in Krishna consciousness, who are interested in everything else except for the Krishna consciousness. Which means practically everything else except for reading the 5 powerful processes of pure devotional service. As soon as we deviate from that, then we start looking, going on the internet, what's there. Maybe there's some nectar on the internet. Maybe there's some nectar on Facebook. Maybe there's some nectar on this or that. We're like, there's nothing here, maybe there. What time is it? Maybe I should read something. Nah, it's too late. Look what's on there. Wow. So we have to convince that we're not going to become the controllers here. We don't have to rearrange the material universe in order to become Krishna conscious. Or as I said last time, the devotees used to say, if we simply go out and distribute books, then everything else will come. And then in the course of time it gets changed around, that if we simply get everything else, then we'll be able to distribute books. So one has to give up the idea that we're the controllers, that we have to rearrange everything in the universe to become Krishna conscious, and that we have to enjoy something in order to actually be qualified to become Krishna conscious. First, to become happy, we have to enjoy, and then we can become Krishna conscious. No, if we give that up, that I need a certain amount of material enjoyment before I can become satisfied in Krishna consciousness. And that I am the savior. I've given it all up. I don't think I'm the controller or the enjoyer anymore. I'm so strict, I'm so regulated, I'm such a qualified, powerful devotee with all kinds of godly characteristics. And by my association, everyone, the whole world is being delivered, even if they don't know it. Even if they don't appreciate it and don't know it, then I'm delivering everyone. Because I was reading the other day that there is people, it doesn't matter what happens, there's always some reason to justify it. Because everyone thinks they're so good, whatever they do, there must be some reason why they do it. Even the people who killed so many people during World War II in concentration camps, they thought they were good people, and these are bad people. So it's good that we're killing all these bad people. It's good for them. So we're getting better. The more we kill these bad people, the better we get. So similarly, people are making predictions that the end of the world is coming, and that on such and such date you should sell everything you have, give it to the leader, and stand on the top of the hill, and you'll be saved at the annihilation day. And the day comes and nothing happens. So these people become disappointed? No, they become convinced. It's because we did all our prayers and we did everything necessary, and because we gave everything away, therefore we saved the universe. And therefore nothing bad happened on that day. They convince themselves that whatever they do is good. So everyone thinks whatever they do is good. And similarly, we think that we're the saviors. Everyone thinks that they're saving some part of the universe. Parents think they're saving their children. Everyone's dependent on them. The guru thinks I'm saving my disciples. Disciples are thinking I'm saving my guru. Everyone's thinking they're saving something. So this is another type of material illusion that we're addicted to. Everyone thinks to some degree, to greater degree or lesser degree, that either I'm a controller or an enjoyer or the saviors in this world. Therefore, we have to have by putting things in the proper perspective. Then when we do our service, then it can actually become devotional. Then it's not a waste of time. Then it's actually progressing us in spiritual life. And the symptom is that we actually feel some love for Krishna. And we're able to see the devotees and the innocent in relation to Krishna. And we're able to avoid the atheists, those who want to draw our minds away from Krishna. That's the symptom that we're actually engaged in pure devotional service. That we're giving this idea up of controlling, enjoying, and saving others, that we're the saviors. So that's the beginning of actual devotional service. Everything else may not be a waste of time if it helps us bring us to this point of pure devotional service. Therefore, Varna and Ashram is there to help us, bring us to the point of actually understanding things properly and engaging in devotional service. So even Varnashram Dharma is not there because is not a waste of time, because there's an element of Krishna in there. There's an element of service to Krishna. But if we engage in Varnashram in this age, we'll simply be lost. Because Varnashram also has the element of trying to control and enjoy and save. And as soon as we get involved in something other than chanting Hare Krishna, as soon as we're not engaged in the 5 powerful processes of pure devotional service, we may appear to be engaged in Varnashram, just like it appears that we're engaged in devotional service sometimes when we're really not. So it may appear that we're engaged in Varnashram, but it's more likely we'll just be engaged in an animal life in the name of Varna and Ashram. Therefore, Varna and Ashram is manifested in this age, that if you have ability to get some resources, then get them for the Sankirtan movement. Engage them in the spreading of the holy name. If you're able to organize the Sankirtan movement. If you're able to preach, go on and Harinam and tell people about Krishna. Distribute books. Tell people the science of Krishna consciousness. And what will be the result? The result is that we should develop an attraction for hearing and chanting about Krishna, to associate with Krishna. That when we chant Hare Krishna, it's not just a big, hard, difficult job we got to do. 16 rounds, my God. Another day. The shackles. These are the heaviest things in my life. Carry around these counter beats. They tie me down to this, to chanting japa. And these books, well, they look good, the covers are right, but my God, inside, I read them and I forget them. They keep on reminding me of what I'm doing wrong. They're the biggest guilt trip I ever got. So one has to see that if we follow the process, we'll develop kata ruchi. We'll develop some taste to hearing about Krishna. We'll want to chant Hare Krishna. We'll want to read Prabhupada's books. We'll want to read the deity. We'll be happy when it's time to chant Hare Krishna. Not that I go to the kirtan, my God, look who's going to chant. They sound like a frog. I think I got something else to do. I feel sick just listening to them. So one has to be able to see what is the symptoms of my disease in the material world, and actually try to see whether I'm actually taking the medicine and getting cured or not, or whether or not I'm actually, in the name of being a devotee of Krishna, I'm actually simply utilizing Krishna to satisfy my, material desires. Somehow or another, by my karma, I wound up in the association of devotees. I don't know what happened. I took a wrong turn, I guess. And it's too late now. Can't get a job, can't do anything. I'm used to just pray I get prasadam every day. I'm stuck. I can't wait till my next life I can get free. Get back to normal life again. So one has to be careful about how our minds are going to bewilder us, how they're already bewildering us, and try to hear regularly this philosophy and apply it to the best of our ability, and then gradually Krishna may help us, give us some understanding, to actually be to the point that we'll actually be happy with what we're doing in Krishna consciousness. We won't think that there's anything higher than this or better than this. We'll be able to absorb our minds in hearing and chanting and gradually make real progress in devotional service. So I'll stop there. Any questions, comments? Yes?
Playing sports with devotees after like a let's just say a kirtan festival devotional service?
Of course not. How could it be devotional service?
Sometimes it's advertised as such.
By whom?
I don't know the name of much.
So when you're playing the sport, are you meditating on Krishna? Every time you hit the ball, Krishna becomes more clear. Krishna is, oh, look at the way he hit the ball. I must reveal myself. He may not be the best of the devotees, but he's sure good at the game. Maybe we'll make him a cowboy and he can be on my side. No, it's because unless we said something like that, we'd feel guilty about playing the game. No, Prabhupada said, actually he said Vaishnava sports were wrestling and swimming. But I don't think wrestling for most of us is going to help us think about Krishna either. Swimming is probably a good exercise. Maybe for when you're swimming, you can probably think of Krishna most easily. But in any case, whatever Maya we're in, we should just try to regulate it at least, and try to reduce it gradually, so that we don't play the sport. My God, I hate Krishna. I'm having so much fun. If it wasn't for this Krishna, I'd have It's making me feel guilty all the time. Just trying to have a little fun. Don't hit me, Lord. I'm not that bad. Just a little happiness somewhere. I mean, if we feel guilty over that, oh my God, look at that guy next gloved him and I can't believe it. Trying to enjoy in the material world. Maya! Maya! So we're happy when we're surrounded by devotees and they're all in Maya. I don't feel so guilty. And then we make our mind a pure devotional service. But that's not very good. At least we should be honestly in Maya. Yes.
There's a online question, Maharaj, by Bhakta Ankit. He said, Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for your wonderful class. In this verse, Varnashram system is indirectly condemned if it doesn't produce pure devotion. According to Bhagavad Gita, Varnashram system is designed by Krishna himself for elevating living entities to pure devotion, provided they follow strictly. So apparently, it seems that performing niskama karma is prescribed can give rise to bhakti, which sounds contrary to the self-manifesting and independent principle nature of bhakti. How do we explain this contradiction?
Varnashram system is meant to bring one to the point where one can understand the value of accepting devotional service. In conditioned life, we don't know. Nite vidu swartha giti Vishnu. We don't know that Krishna is actually the Supreme, and that everything else is insignificant. But by following the Varnashram system, one can come to the mode of goodness and see things clearly, and then one can make the decision to accept Krishna. But one can also follow the Varnashram and become a complete demon. Hiranyakashipu, And Ravana, well, especially Ravana, he was born as Hiranyakashipu was born from the topmost, probably one of the greatest Brahmins in the universe. Similarly, Hiranyaksha was, and Ravana and Kumbhakarna, they were born from a great Brahmin. But because they were against Krishna, ultimately they didn't accept Krishna, they became Asuram Bhavamashritas. So Varnashram doesn't necessarily, the end of Varnashram may make you the biggest demon in the universe. If you don't, at that point you don't accept Krishna. Therefore we don't recommend Varnashram because without the chanting, without pure devotional service, because it doesn't necessarily lead one to devotional service. We utilize Varnashram because our senses and mind are unregulated, and it helps us regulate our senses and mind, so that eventually we ourselves, even though we're engaged in the process, it just makes it easier eventually to accept Krishna also. Though we've seen so many devotees, even they're practicing devotional service, even they're engaged in the methodology of utilizing Varnashram, they wind up as demons also, sometimes. So it's not that we take all the help we can get, because we haven't accepted the pure chanting of the holy name, because it's not possible in a conditioned life to just suddenly rise up to pure devotion. So we accept elements of Varnashram to help us regulate our mind and senses, so that when we chant Hare Krishna, we have less to distract us. Because we have less to distract, if we're actually interested in concentration on Krishna and hearing and chanting, then it makes it easier, that's all. But as Prabhupada said in the Varnashram talks, the devotees aren't candidates for Varnashram. We may eventually, when our society becomes more prominent, and it sees that there's a lot of people that can't even eat properly, and therefore their minds are so disturbed that they're going to disturb the whole world. And therefore we may show them an example when we become prominent enough that they'll take seriously of how to live more peacefully in the material world and get the necessities of life. So we may manifest Varnashram. But right now, even when we manifested Varnashram, people think, most people would take it very seriously. And if we put too much emphasis on Varnashram, the little seriousness we put in pure devotional service, we'll give that up also. We'll be happy living on a farm and eating and sleeping. We'll work enough to eat and sleep. And there's no time for hearing and chanting. No one goes to the temple. Once a year they do Janmashtami, just to show that we're great devotees. See if Krishna's still in the temple. And then the result is that if we don't practice devotional service, then we'll become Kali Chela. Without the elevation for hearing and chanting and associating with Krishna regularly, then we'll eat and sleep, and maybe we'll work hard enough so it won't affect us so much, but then eventually we'll look around, see what mating and defending follow. Without Krishna consciousness, if we just eat and sleep, mating and defending will follow soon after. Anything else? Okay, thank you very much. Grandhare Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam
Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Haribo.
His Holiness Prahladananda
Ki Jai.